You may have heard of it, you may have not. It's the moisture barrier, and it is super important in skincare. Your moisture barrier basically keeps your skin protected. It holds all the moisture that you need inside of your skin, and it keeps all of that bacteria and acne out of your skin. But what do you do when your moisture barrier becomes weak, compromised, or even damaged? Well, give this video a big thumbs up because today I'm going to share with you the 5 signs that your moisture barrier might need a little bit of help. I'm going to share with you the 5 reasons why it might have become weak, and I'm also going to give you the 5 ways that you can help it heal. So first things first, how do you know if your moisture barrier needs some work? Well, here are the 5 signs that your moisture barrier may be in a weakened state. Number 1, your skin feels or looks dry. If your skin used to be balanced or even oily, but all of a sudden you're noticing a lot of dry patches on your skin, or your skin, when you look up at it close, looks really dry and flaky, you might be dealing with a weakened moisture barrier. Number 2, products sting or burn when you apply them. Products you've been using for months and months and months all of a sudden create a weird sensation on your face, a tiny tingling, a little stinging, a little burning. This can be a sign that your moisture barrier is not working the way it's supposed to. Number 3, your skin feels itchy. Itchiness is a sign of irritation, and irritation is a sign of a weakened moisture barrier. Number 4, skin feels tight or dehydrated. Now, dehydrated can be your skin type, but dehydration on your skin really is a symptom of a weakened moisture barrier. So if you even have a little bit of dehydrated skin, you want to be working to strengthen up that barrier. And number 5, your skin is easily sensitized or irritated. You're dealing with a lot of redness on your skin. You're dealing with a lot of inflammation. You may be seeing a lot of irritation breakouts occurring, and this can really be a symptom of a weakened moisture barrier. Okay, so how did you do? Did one of those things resonate with you? Did all of those things resonate with you? Even if one of them sounded kind of like your skin, you may want to consider focusing in on your moisture barrier when it comes to your skincare routines. And you also want to take a look at your skincare habits, because some of the stuff you are doing may be causing your moisture barrier to become weak or damaged. So here are the 5 things, the 5 top reasons why your moisture barrier might be in disrepair. Number 1 is exfoliation. Over exfoliating, to be exact. Now, exfoliation, chemical and physical, can produce amazing results for our skin. So amazing, in fact, that some of us become a tiny bit addicted to it, and we probably abuse the chemical exfoliation especially a little bit too much. And this can really wreak havoc on your moisture barrier. So definitely you want to take a look at how much are you really exfoliating your skin, and is it too much? Number 2, using harsh or high pH cleansers. Now, cleansers are probably, aside from chemical exfoliation, one of the harshest products that we use in our routines. Even if they're marketed towards sensitive skin, even if they say they're gentle, it still is a stripping process in our skincare routines, but there's really no way around cleansing, right? So we want to make sure that we're choosing gentle, truly gentle cleansers that are pH balanced for our skin. Number 3, using really stripping or drying ingredients in your skincare. Now, the first one that comes to my mind is alcohol. It's very, very drying for the skin, and you'd be surprised the amount of products that alcohol is in. Now, I do just want to give you a warning, and this is probably a topic for another day, but there are good and bad alcohols out there. So just the word alone, alcohol, shouldn't put you off completely. Do your research. Throw that ingredient into Google and you'll find out pretty quickly if it's a good or bad alcohol. But generally speaking, they are very stripping of the skin, and they can weaken your moisture barrier pretty quickly. Number 4, a dry environment. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind is probably weather. Dry weather can really take a lot of moisture right out of your skin, and that's true. But don't forget about things like air conditioning and heating. You know, that can really take a lot of the moisture. Even if you're in a humid climate, it can still take a lot of the moisture out of the air and out of the environment. And also plane travel. Planes are one of the quickest ways to turn normal skin into dehydrated skin, because because it's just a very drying environment. And number 5, using too hot of water or not wearing your sunscreen. Now, hot water can really strip a lot of moisture from your skin, and if you do that time and time again, you're really going to damage your moisture barrier. And UV exposure without any protection from sunscreen can really dry your skin out as well. So now we know the 5 signs that your moisture barrier might be weak, and we know the 5 reasons that might be causing it to be weak, but this is the list of 5 that I think is the most important. The 5 ways that you can heal your moisture barrier or strengthen it. And my number 1 tip for you guys is going to be check your chemical and physical exfoliation at the door, please. Now, this is the hardest advice to give and the hardest advice to take. Trust me, I have been in a situation with my moisture barrier being like completely damaged, and it's really hard to give up your chemical exfoliation. My number 1 recommendation would be to stop all exfoliation for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Now that sounds like a really long time. In the scheme of things, it's really not, and it's not like your skin is going to go into like some kind of crazy like overdrive with acne and blackheads and dry patches. It's gonna be okay, because in the long run, when you have a healthy moisture barrier, you're going to have great skin. When your moisture barrier is always weak or damaged, you're basically fighting against the clock in a way. You're fighting up against a brick wall. You know, you might move an inch, but it's going to push you right back down again. It's a really hard battle to win. So if you address your moisture barrier right away, you're going to have amazing skin down the road. So I would say to take a look at your chemical exfoliation routine. Do you use chemical exfoliation every single day? Is it possible to do every other day? Is it possible to do 2 times a week? Is it possible to stop at least temporarily? The best thing you can do is stop temporarily and then add things back in slowly. That's really the best way to do it. But if you just cannot fathom the idea of it at all, really rein it back. Try to only use it once or twice a week if you can, at least until your skin starts to heal itself. Now, I mentioned chemical exfoliation. You definitely want to be avoiding your AHAs, BHAs, PHAs, and vitamin C. These are all chemical exfoliants that are going to be a little bit too harsh for your weak moisture barrier. I'm also going to group into this category physical exfoliators, face scrubs, face brushes, facial cleansing devices, the ones with brush heads, as well as the silicone ones. Those can cause a lot of irritation on a weak moisture barrier. I'm also going to group into that washcloths. Really rough washcloths can be a little bit too harsh on the skin. Another tricky one that I want you to avoid is enzymes. Now, you may see masks, especially masks or peels that say pumpkin enzyme or fruit enzymes. Enzymes are basically kind of like a gateway drug into chemical exfoliation. They do create a light chemical exfoliation process on the skin that you definitely want to avoid when you're trying to heal your moisture barrier. Number 2, you've got to be using a low pH gentle cleanser. Now, this is really important because something called the acid mantle is really directly related to your moisture barrier, and you want to keep the environment of the acid mantle in your skin at its natural level of about 5.5. It's really easy for you to raise that pH level from 5.5 all the way up with really harsh cleansers. So we want to use pH balanced, formulated at around 5.5 cleansers so that we make sure that the acid mantle basically stays in a neutral kind of a place and it doesn't raise or lower the pH of our skin, causing our moisture barrier to go into a tizzy, right? If you don't know where to start with low pH cleansers, don't worry. I've got a video there where I review 3 of my favorite ones. I'll link that for you guys right up here. Number 3, avoid hot water on your face. Do not wash your face with super hot, steaming hot water. Please don't do that, especially if your moisture barrier is weak, because it's just gonna make it worse. So definitely check that temperature of your water. Make sure that it's kind of like the temperature of your skin a little bit. It doesn't feel too warm on your hands. You don't have to go with cold water, but just make sure it's not super duper hot. Now, when it comes to showers, that one's a little bit harder because nobody wants to take a lukewarm shower, and especially not a cold one, right? So I actually have a little bit of a tip or a trick for you guys when it comes to showers, because hot showers are my favorite thing in the whole entire world. So before you get into the shower, put some honey on your face. Yes, straight up honey from the pantry. If you've got a honey wash-off mask, that will work too, but you can just go right into your kitchen and grab the jar of honey. Put that on your face and wait for about 10 minutes. minutes. Now, honey is super hydrating for the skin. It's also antibacterial. It's got a lot of anti-inflammatory and soothing properties to it, but it does infuse your skin with a lot of hydration. So then you can get into the shower after about 10 minutes of having it on, and don't let the water hit your face immediately. Don't wash all the honey off, as soon as you can. Try to keep it on as long as you can. It will start to kind of melt off. But essentially what the honey does is not only does it infuse your skin with a lot of hydration, but it also creates a little bit of a protective barrier when you get into the shower that protects your skin from being stripped so quickly by the warm or hot water. So that's my little tip or trick for you guys who love your hot showers. Number 4, you want to protect your skin from the environment. So number 1, you've got to be wearing sunscreen. I feel like that's all that needs to be said about that one, right? Number 2, if you're in a dry environment like we were talking about before, dry winter weather, or even air conditioning and heating inside, I really suggest using a humidifier. Now, I sleep with a humidifier on all year round because it really helps to prevent transepidermal water loss throughout the night. But even in the winter time, when it's really, really dry and the environment even makes my throat a little bit scratchy, I actually put a small humidifier on my desk. So you may want to consider having something like that in your workspace or even out in your living room, just to kind of create a little bit more humidity in the air that it can kind of help feed moisture into your skin all day long. And number 5, this is probably the most important one of them all. You want to adjust your skincare routine to include moisture barrier loving ingredients. Now, when it comes to the moisture barrier, it's kind of a twofold process. Number 1, you want to make sure that you're adding that water back into your skin that you lost. So you want hydrating toners, essences, and serums. You want to make sure that they're nice and light and watery, and you want to give your skin as much as possible. But when it comes to repairing your moisture barrier, you definitely need to be sealing that in, and you need to be feeding your moisture barrier, because when it comes down to it, your moisture barrier is basically held together by a glue that's made up of ceramides, fatty acids, and lipids. When your moisture barrier is weak, those ingredients in the moisture barrier, they're thin, they create holes, there's not enough of them to really hold it together. So we want to add that back in through our skincare products. So step number 1, add hydration, add a lot of water to your skin. Step number 2 is to seal it in, and step number 3 is to feed your barrier. So you want to be looking for ingredients, and you're going to find these mostly in moisturizers, oils, lotions. It's going to be in thicker type products like that. So you want to look for ingredients like ceramides, you want to look for cholesterol, linoleic acids, niacinamide, squalene, cranberry, jojoba, safflower, sweet almond oils, as well as shea butter. These are all excellent ingredients to look for when it comes to looking for ingredients that will feed and strengthen your moisture barrier, as well as seal in hydration to your skin. So if you guys are suffering from a weak moisture barrier, I just want to let you know it is possible to heal it, and it is possible to make it stronger. Your skin is super regenerative, and it can really heal and repair itself. We just have to give it the tools so that it can do so. So let me know in the info box below. Out of those 5 signs that your moisture barrier is weak, how many did you get? Let me know in the comment box below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I release 2 new skincare videos every single week, and if you ring that little bell, you'll get notified the next time I upload the new one. I hope you guys are having a really beautiful day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye guys.